Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of our Cozy Forever world. Today, we're going to be building a barn to house some animals, and we're also going to do some general housekeeping just to make some more space for future builds. We've been breeding the cows off camera since we last got them in their pen, and we have quite a few, so I think today is the perfect day to get started on a barn for them. Also off camera, we got a little hops field set up, and we also got a pumpkin and melon farm set up. Before we do any building though, we have to go replenish our materials. Oh, hi Mr. Enderman. We have to say hi to him on our way down. It's mandatory. Anyway, we need some diorite, so today we're going into the caves to go grab some. It's at this point that I realized when I opened this cave, I forgot to light it up. I honestly should have lit it up right then and there. I should have went back up, grabbed some torches, just spammed them everywhere. But instead, because I had building on my mind, we just made our way along the edge of the cave to go grab the diorite that we needed. We grabbed as much as we could before we headed back up to the surface. The next day, as I was heading out to go get more materials, I spotted a creeper and a sheep just hanging out together. Until the creeper just disappeared. What a strange situation. Anyway, back to getting more materials. This time, we're out collecting some white chalk. I'm gonna be making the walls of the barn out of diorite and white chalk, so we need both. I really like the texture of the white chalk, and I think it'll look really good with the diorite as well. So we're gonna grab as much as we can while we're here, so hopefully we don't have to go back out for more materials. We also grabbed some oak wood to later turn into flowering yellow planks for the roof. We also grabbed some yellow flowers while we were out for yellow dye for the same purpose. Once home, we crafted up our yellow logs, then turned them into flowering yellow logs to get our flowering yellow planks for the roof. And with all of our building materials gathered, it was time to finally build the barn. I knew I wanted this barn to be pretty big, as it's going to hold my cows, sheep, pigs, and chickens. So this is the outline that I went with. I then started building up the walls with cherry logs, just to get a rough shape of how it was going to look, and to make sure that I had the pillars high enough. I then broke them down, stripped the logs, and then started building up the walls. I did some research while I was editing this video, and it turns out that the barn that I'm currently making is actually modeled after a monitor barn, which became popular and practical in the 19th century. The barn is named after the center raised portion of the roof, not only giving it an extra room for more storage of hay and grains, but also giving more ventilation for the livestock in the barn itself. However, unlike a traditional monitor barn, I went for a more curved roof than a flat angled one. outline done, it was back to building more walls for the barn. I wanted to make sure that I got everything up and ready to go so that I could get the animals in as quickly as possible. While building up the walls, I made sure to just swap between the chalk and the diorite, with no rhyme or reason, just to give the walls a bit more texture. With the walls all filled in, it was time to head back onto the roof and start filling it in. I used the flowering yellow planks, but I used it in slab form so that I would save on materials. I know the yellow seems a bit bright, but once it's all built and all filled in, it actually looks really nice. It's a really nice contrast of color, while still keeping the pastel and cottagecore vibes with the flowers. I really liked working with this style of wood. I don't normally use yellow in my builds to begin with, so it was a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I think it turned out really nice, and I really enjoyed getting out of that comfort zone for a little bit. Normally I build with either a darker color palette or a very pastel color palette, so it was nice to use bold colors. Now it's time to decide where the windows are going to go. Once I was in there and I had part of the roof built, I realized that it was still kind of dark in there, so I wanted some windows on the front. I also filled in the front little portion where another window is going to go for the monitor. I then made some fences to put on each corner of the roof to add more stability to the build. Does it really need it? No. But does it look good? Yes. We also cut out the windows and replaced the bottom parts with some more fences so that the animals can't get out. I then started laying out where the pens are actually going to go. And then we got the cows moved into theirs. With the cows moved into their new home, I could take down their temporary one, and then I bred them up with some wheat. Haha, bread, wheat, pun intended. Anyway, we started working on getting the other two pens in, and then we made a star window in the back of the barn to add even more light. It was finally time to start working on the monitor of the roof. We stripped the cherry logs and then filled in the walls, like we did down below, with the diorite and the white chalk. I made a normal angled roof at the top to add a little bit of contrast from the roundness of the bottom roof. Partway through making the roof, I ran out of stairs, so I had to stop and craft some more real quick before I could continue building. It seems like no matter how prepared I am for a build, I always seem to run out of materials, and I always have to stop to either gather more or make more. I always seem to underestimate how big my builds are actually going to be. Now I'm just filling in the walls and making sure there's a few cutouts for some windows so it's not so dark in the top of the barn when I get the walls all placed in. had to go back into the mines to go get some more diorite. On my way, I found an Enderman stuck in a block, so I decided to take him out of his misery. But then I realized that there had been Endermen in my tunnel to the mine for quite some time because it was mostly blocked off. And of course, there was another Enderman, so we had to say hello as we went back down. This mining trip I brought my torches to light up the cave. I should have lit it up a long time ago, but it is what it is. We're lighting it up now. I just kept dodging mobs as I ran around spamming torches to hopefully get them to leave me alone. I was dodging creepers, skeletons, and zombies left and right as I ran around frantically spamming torches. When I finally ran out of torches, I decided to try to take some of the nearby mobs out. But then, as I was fighting for my life, the unthinkable happened. I was blown up by a creeper. I wanted to go get my revenge and also get my stuff back. We also still needed to grab the diorite that we came down here for to begin with. As I headed back into the cave, I continued to spam more torches that I brought with me. With my stuff back and the cave lit up properly this time, I started mining some diorite to finish off the barn. I mined up as much as I could because I really didn't want to head back into the cave this episode. Once back at the surface, I finished building up the walls of the monitor for the barn. With the walls all finished, it was time to place lanterns to get our light sources. I took a step back to admire the barn and how cute it looked. It was turning out so well. We then placed in the ladder to get to the second floor. I then placed in the flooring for the second floor, and I used the same yellow flowering slabs as we did for the roof. I really liked this wood, and I liked how it looked as a flooring as well. I then placed in trapdoors for the single block windows, and the barn was done! I replanted some trees, and also replaced our tranquil lantern. And then, while trying to feed the cows, we had an unfortunate accident. I opened the gate on accident, and some of the cows got out of the pen. I was frantically trying to get them back in the pen, or at least close the gate so I didn't lose all of my cows. With the gate finally closed, I gave the cows some bread so that they could replenish what we lost. I finished off the barn by decorating it with some hay bales on the inside and the outside, and some cabbage crates as I have an excess of cabbage because my cabbage field produces way too much. With the barn finally done, I was able to check it off of our goal board, and God, that felt so good. There's still so much left to do on our goal board, but to check one big thing off felt amazing. I then went to go clear some trees to make space for a future build. Finally, I made an anvil, grabbed the name tag, and we finally properly named Mango. He deserved this. He's just the cutest good boy. I mean, look at him. Look at his little face. You can't tell me that is not the face of an adorable good boy. You can't. And that ends episode 2 of our Cozy Homestead Forever world. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you want more of my content. I appreciate you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys in episode 3.